Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Ruben Muhindi, and today I will be speaking to parents who have received their kids from school, and this has been catalyzed by one of the videos I got from I watched it from TikTok, and it's from one of, I don't know how I can describe the man, but it really caught my attention that we as parents, we have received our kids back. I stand in a better position to be speaking to you because I've been with your kids for the last few years, and I believe it will be the best opportunity for me also to put across what I think a parent who has received his or her kids from school, what he or she should do to make sure he brings the best kids, the children who are well modeled in terms of character. And I will base my argument, I will base my topic mostly on a biblical perspective. So for all Christian parents and those who are non-Christian, this is your message. And I will be focusing on how to raise a godly children in an ungodly world. So that means that we are living in an ungodly, a secular world, but we need to raise our kids in a godly manner. And this, I would just like to put this as my introduction, and that is rearing godly kids is a task we have been entrusted with by God. And rearing kids and upbringing them is not a easy task. It's a great challenge, but also it's a great privilege. Raising godly children is not an automatic thing that you'll just click at a button and you'll have a godly children. That's not like that. So that, what am I trying to say? This raising godly kids is all about applying biblical godly parenting principles to make sure that putting them together you bring out a godly son, a godly daughter who will be well modeled in terms of biblical principles, and they will grow to become men and women of impact in society. So I would like to describe and to explain to you 3 principles that every parent, every Christian parent should focus on to bring the best and delightful young kids who will just be will be like a delightful to you for a lifetime. You'll just watch them grow and you'll just be happy about who they are as your sons and your daughters. So when I'm saying this, I would just like to focus on what I've said. And one thing, every parent should know that doing this will leave them a valuable spiritual legacy and an inheritance that will remain with them for eternity. From the book of Psalms 127, 3 to 5. It describes to us what our children are, and I'll say that it just tells us that children, sons, are just inheritance, are rewards, blessings from God. And so regard your children for what they are, and that is God given blessings. So just remember that children are blessings from God and are and also a source of joy to every family. So children are a source of joy, and I like to put the disclaimer on this. I don't mean the kids that you are supposed to get kids all over. As a daughter, getting a child in your family, it brings sadness. It's never it's never a happy moment. Your parents may not show you, but I can tell you it's never a happy moment unless you can provide for them. No way your parent will provide for you and provide for your child. That will never work, and they will never be happy about that. So I'm telling that children are source of joy to every family. But don't hear this and start getting kids all over. So, 3 keys in raising kids into a responsible adults who will be effective in serving God, their families, the society, is that the first one is training, the second one is love, and the third one is discipline. And how will just go direct to my first one, which is love for every kid. So Proverbs 20:11 tells that every child is known by his or her actions and conduct. So that means for your child to have those good behaviors, to conduct themselves in a responsible manner, you must have trained them to be what you would like to be. And as a parent, always be visionary. See the future. Have a vision of your kids. See 20 years from now, what kind of children would I like to see my son, my daughter looking like? And from that, you will have begun with an end in mind that will help you to put and to train your kids to become what you have seen in future for them. So a good action and conduct becomes part and parcel of your testimonies, because everybody will be speaking good about your child. So that becomes part of the testimony that everybody will give about you. The other thing is that what we call, what we get from the Proverbs 22 verse 6, train up a child in the way they should go, and when he or she is old, he will not depart from it. That means when you train your child at the age, at the right age, they will maintain and they will catch the root, and they will just follow the instructions, and they will be what you intended them to be. So training up a child in a godly way involves repetition, reinforcement of either negative or positive reinforcement, depending on the kind of behavior and the kind of character they have. Then we have encouragement. This is now, it's a part of training by encouraging them. And all those are worthy doing, since they result to great impact on the life of every child. The most training is needed in these two areas. In terms of character is one of the things that, regardless of what kind of a parent you're born again or not, character training for every child is really very important. So the second area is that in the area of spiritual matters, you need to train your child in spirituality. You need to bring them in a way that will please, will grow them, will bring them, and they will become men who know, who are guided by godly principles in their lives. The Another thing is every child belongs the age of 8 years. Parent is the greatest potter or input in his or her character, and most of them, their decisions and character are based on what they were taught at the age of 8 and below. So at this age is the time that you're a parent. You should know that this is like a clay you have in your hands, and you are the potter. You have an opportunity to make this child the person you would like them to be in future. So mold them to be the people that you would like them to be in their adulthood. And the Deuteronomy 6 verse 6 to 7, it tells that the home is the primary training environment. The school and the church are just helpers to you, are just helpers to the parents on of accomplishing their primary responsibility on bringing effective children. Christian parenting should have a goal of raising godly children. We parents, God has entrusted with taking children from zero, which we call tabula is a blank page, but you can write it to up to 100%. And this makes your kids to be responsible for their lives, both at home and everywhere they will find themselves at. So as a parent, you have a great responsibility. And one thing I always tell parents that you are not responsible for your child's mistake, but you are responsible for their right parenting. Ephesians 6 verse 4, it tells us that train one's child in the way of the Lord. Parents, training your child in a godly way involves different things. And the thing is praying for them and praying together with them. The other thing is choose the kind of music and the channels. Don't allow them to explore everything. They better explore that later, but you have trained them at their young age what is good and what should not be done in the house, and that instills the discipline. At the later on, they will become they will remember the instructions, they will remember the principles set at their homes, and they will become like that. Even if they divert during their teenagehood, they will come back to what you trained them. So parents, be very keen as you handle your kids. And I'm saying this because they are now at home for the next 3 weeks, and I tell you, this will make a difference in your child if you follow it and train them to be what you want to be, because every parent has a goal, what they wish their kids to be, what kind of adult men and women they would like to see in their lives. So in terms of those things, the training doesn't need to be very harsh, doesn't need to be rigid. See, this can just make them to be rebellious. And when you have a rebellious teenager, I can tell you as a parent, you'll have the hardest time to handle this child. So the training doesn't need to be harsh, doesn't need to be too rigid, things that cannot be changed. You just need to have a soft ground. You just need to have a common ground. You get their views, you get what they think, and then now you can set the rules. And because they will feel they have a sense of belonging, they are part of this, they might take this and follow the rules and be the best trainees you'll have in the family. So as a parent, just know that there are many things that you need to do, and always try to be positive to kids and be an encourager to them, and this will help in training, in character training, and this will help to address the conduct and attitude that are maybe inappropriate as the Bible, in relation to the Bible principles. This, as a parent, make sure you love your kids. And I said the second principle is love. So whenever as a parent you are, tell your children and show them often that you love them. Be sure to affirm them and praise them. If they do something good, be there for them. Tell them what a wonderful deed, what a wonderful action they have done. And this will be the best time, and they will enjoy watching them. They will just be happy. They will see that love manifested in terms of action and not in terms of just mere words. So this showing love involves different things. It's not a matter just show physical affection to them, and this can involve hugging them, holding them whenever necessary, and this also brings them and makes them feel good. And give yourself to your children even as Christ loved the church and he gave himself for the church. So as a parent, be there for your kids. Give yourself to them and let them know what kind of a parent they have. This is just part of showing love to them. Give your children portion of your time. So spend time together. Give them full attention when they talk to you. Try to listen, not with the intention of responding, but intention of understanding them and being empathetic and trying to listening with aim of understanding, not with the aim of responding. So be involved in their lives and interest, what they like, be involved in their interest. So listen to them, spend time with them, include them in the housework, and this is where most of parents are failing. If your child is doing nothing at home and that is a way of showing love to them, I can tell you, you're making the kind of useless people in the society. Because where will they work? What will they do if they can't do anything at all? Nothing. So even if they get a job, they will not be able to work. They will not be able to cope with the environment because they were not trained to work. So as a parent, make sure they work, they do house chores, they are involved in what is done at home. The third thing is discipline. That is the third principle. And discipline your children. Parent, discipline your children. I know when I touch on this, many parents will just think of one thing, but we have many ways of disciplining our children. And Proverbs 13:24, he who spares a rod hates his son, but he who loves him is careful to discipline him. So them. Discipline them diligently, consistently, and early in life. I can tell you comes a certain age where you can't cane your child. Most of the teenagers, you can't just use canes to discipline them. Although it's applicable to some extent, but it's not the best way to handle the teenagers. So as a parent at their young age, you can handle them. You can use the cane and correct them, and they will become the kind of the best kids that they would like to be. So the